Hey everyone! Well, I told myself that I wouldn't buy any more anime figures until I got my May Raiden figure that I pre-ordered for the end of December. Well, I guess that's a lie, but since that's now all in the past, I do want to say that out of this 7-figure haul, I got my first Miku figure, quite possibly my favorite Persona figure, along with my first build-it-yourself figure, and my first noodle stopper. I also got a bunch of books, and I also picked up 10 amazing art prints from Emerald City Comic Con, which happened earlier this month. So without wasting any more time, let's get started and dive into this haul. Like my last unboxing video, I want to make this a little bit fun. I'll expose part of the figure and give you 3 seconds to guess what the figure is before I reveal it. So here's your 3 seconds. Since you guys are so awesome, I assume that you all guessed it already. But if you haven't, I picked myself up the noodle stopper of the foreigner class servant Hokusai from the series Fate Granddaughter. Let's quickly show you the unboxing and go over her. Now getting on with the actual review of her, I've been eyeballing this figure for a little while. For the price, this figure is pretty awesome. There's a lot more detail than I was expecting, especially for a $20 figure. And I have to say, noodle stoppers make a great bookshelf ledge figure. Now my cons with this figure are related to quality control. First, my figure has paint transfer issues. I imagine whoever put on her head accidentally rubbed her chin against her scarf, which caused purple paint scratches on her chin. Also, on her back bow pattern, there's some glue blotches which cause discoloration. It's harder to see in person, but much easier to see with a camera. Also, her brush can be a pain to initially get into her hand, and the overall paint job is not perfect. But other than that, she's pretty awesome for the price. If the other noodle stoppers are like this, I'll be picking up a few. Now on to the next figure. Here are your 3 seconds, let's go. This one's a bit trickier to guess, but if you haven't guessed it, it's Yuri Low from Tales of Vesperia. I want to briefly show you the opening, and then we can go over the figure. First off, this is a 10-year-old figure. There's a newer True Knight version of Yuri, but I prefer the game version of Yuri, mostly due to nostalgia since Tales of Vesperia is my favorite Tales game. No, I do have a Tales of Arise installed, I just need time to play it. This figure has all the things I look for in a figure. Iconic pose, detailed base, flowing hair, and lastly, cleavage. And Yuri has the best cleavage. The figure itself isn't heavily detailed towards the realism department by adding a lot of unnecessary textures. Rather, the figure is pretty smoothed out and adds detail where it counts, like wrinkles and folds in the cloth or the buttons on the boots. The hair is a bit melted, but it gets the job done. I feel that this is a perfect statue that depicts the character Yuri Lao, and the chibi Yuri is an interesting addition. For a figure that's made a decade ago, this is one of the best I've seen in my personal opinion. For our next figure, here's the clue in 3 more seconds. This figure's Hayami from Idolmaster's Cinderella Girls. Let's quickly go over the unboxing and review her. I do want to say that I've never played or seen anything from Idolmasters. I purely got this figure based on the appearance of the outfit. I was drawing some concept outfits a while back and stumbled across this figure and thought the outfit was amazing. There's a lot of cool details in it, which makes me love this figure. However, up close, some of the details on the accessories, like the armband and the bracelet, have lots to be desired. And I'm not a fan of the base, not even remotely. It does not complement the figure at all. But with that being said, she's a super affordable figure. I got her for a really good price, which is why I snatched her up. Overall, she's a great figure. Moving on to my next figure, here are the clues. You got 3 seconds, let's go. As you can see, though you're probably confused, this is the Bullet Knight Launcher Model Kit from Kotobukiya. Basically, this is a build-it-yourself anime figure with swappable parts with other models of its type. But I'll put up some photos of the final product on the screen since I won't be building her today. If she matches the photos, then I'll be impressed. And now my next figure. You got 3 seconds to guess, let's go. Well, I'm glad that you all guessed that it's Risei Kujikawa from the game Persona 4. Let's review the unboxing and talk about her. I wasn't expecting to get this figure, but I did get it secondhand for an oddly good price consisting of my left kidney. I love the hair and the outfit, and the pose is great, and the detail is spot on. She's an amazing figure. But the base is the biggest con. I got 2 idol figures in this haul, and both have lackluster bases. I wish they did some kind of frosted silver paint with little mirror squares checkered throughout the base. That would have made it perfect. Maybe I'll just have to customize it myself. Also, getting her into her base was a bit tricky because you have to squeeze her legs together, which kind of made me scared because I thought I was going to break her. But other than that, I love this figure, which you probably could have guessed given the theme of this video. On to the next amazing figure. I'm actually super excited to show this one off, so here's your 3 seconds. As you can see, this is the Swamp Witch Metalia, or Metallica if you're basing it on the Japanese version. She comes from the Witch in the 100 Night video game, and is part of the Disgaea series as a DLC character. so let's show her unboxing and go over her. First off, I want to say that I love this character design and how they posed this figure. It's perfect. The base is crazy and this figure looks so cool. Overall, I'm in love with this figure. As for cons, well, there's a clear plastic support which takes away from the figure, but you don't necessarily have to use it. And the hat can be a bit wonky to balance. And I have seen pictures of the hat paint rubbing off on the hair, though I'm not sure how often that happens. But yeah, this figure is awesome and I'm so excited to have it. Now onto the last figure. Here are your 3 seconds, so get guessing. Given that this has been the most popular figure on Reddit for the last 2 months, I'm sure everyone got this one. It's Hatsune Miku by Maethos. Let's quickly view her opening and then review her. This is such a pretty figure. Maethos is really trying to put everyone to shame lately with their over-the-top figures, because she is amazing. There's a lot of little details that make me appreciate this figure, which is why she got the spotlight as my last figure. I think the hair is one of the most defining qualities, and given that this is one of many Maethos figures that I own with crazy hair, I'm beginning to notice that Maethos really makes their hair strands thick. As for cons, my Miku figure's seat is not level with the ground. It seems like a degree or two slanted. I'm not sure if this is normal, but I wish it was more level, or maybe I just got unlucky. But other than that, she's definitely one of my most favorite Miku figures so far, and she's my first Miku figure in my collection. Now that the figures are done, are you guys ready to guess some manga? Probably not. Let's just jump in what I pulled in November for manga and books. The first 3 books is Frieren, Don't Toy With Me Miss Nagatoro, and Solo Leveling. Frieren's a really cool new fantasy series about an elf learning that her concept of time flows different than non-elves. I highly recommend this book if you're into fantasy. As for Don't Toy With Me Miss Nagatoro Volume 9, I felt that this series started off strong, but it's beginning to plateau for me since the growth of the characters is becoming less rewarding. And Solo Leveling, I have to say that they've been making great improvements in how they present webcomics compared to the first volume. The first volume had a lot of white spaces, and with the third volume, the panels are flush. The next book I got was the next deluxe volume of Berserk. Berserk is my favorite manga series, and I'm glad to have this in my collection. I also picked up Overlord 1 through 4. I'm a huge isekai nerd, and I actually haven't watched or read the series, aside from the first few chapters before picking it up. I'm actually looking forward to this one. And then there's Witch Hat Atelier. I was recommended this series based on its art and solid story, so I'll give it the 4-volume read before picking up some more. Lastly, I have the available Steins;Gate Zero books and the Steins;Gate Complete Edition. Both of these are Barnes & Noble exclusive editions. Steins;Gate is a great visual novel, and I hear that the manga follows the animation, so I want to read it for myself since I haven't watched the animation yet. Now that wraps up the manga, but I picked up 2 more books. One is an art book story from Fullmetal Daemon Muramasa. Unfortunately, this art book turned out to be more of a story than an art book, and a lot of the art is photos of figurines. And I also picked up a short story of Fullmetal Daemon Muramasa that follows the side characters of the series. And that's it for the books. And finally, the art prints. So at the beginning of December, I went to Emerald City Comic Con. Oddly enough, there wasn't much there for American comics at Comic Con, and there was a ton of stuff related to Japanese comics, manga, and anime. So I picked up some art prints. I thought this One Piece print was really cute and had a nice use of colors, and I love the chibi versions of all the characters. This Cowboy Bebop print is amazing, and I love how they depict Spike as younger in this print. This is probably one of my favorite pieces of art for Rimuru from Reincarnated as a Slime. It gives him a more mature look, which makes him look badass. And this is a print of Tanjiro from Demon Slayer. I love how he seems a bit washed out, but the flames and water pop on this metallic print. It adds a lot to the photo. And then I get this Demon Slayer print that just explodes with color. There's a lot going on, and it's absolute eye candy when you see it in person. I'm a crazy Avatar fan, and I love the style of this piece. It's one of those pieces that you can just stick anywhere, and non-anime fans would appreciate it. And what do you know, another Avatar print, but this time holographic. I feel that each character is depicted perfect in this piece, especially Toph, so serious. And since I couldn't live without the Fire Nation characters, and my favorite character in the series, which is Azula if you're guessing, Zuko being a close second, I just had to pick up this piece. Then there's this amazing Final Fantasy print. I'm so excited to have this because I love how each character is depicted. Tifa looks badass. But I'm being told that I should send this to my brother since he heavily collects Final Fantasy VII figures. So if you're watching this, Merry Christmas. And the last piece is a Sword Art Online piece. I love how they portrayed Kirito in this piece. They gave him a much mature look, which I think was needed. I can't wait to see the Sword Art Progressive movie, since I've read the light novels and love how they improved it over the original series. I really like this piece. Anyway, that's it for this massive haul. Thanks for joining me. You guys have been awesome. Be sure to subscribe if you haven't already, and give this video a like if you enjoyed it. I hope to see you guys again, and take care.